Good morning, class.
Good morning, sir. Welcome to grade 7 Lily. How are you today?
I'm blessed. Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, class. So the last time we were here, we went into sentences. So everyone might now know what is a complete sentence.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just copy this. Okay, class. Pay attention to this one. Everyone's finished writing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's read these three sentences. First,
I am a boy.
next sentence,
I am a boy, but she is not.
and the third sentence.
Although I am a boy, I love to plant trees.
Good. So there you see three sentences. They're all different, correct?
Yes, sir.
Alright, we didn't realize any differences. Yes, right.
There are some sentences long and some short.
Okay, so some of the sentences are long and some are short. That means the structure of these sentences is different. Correct?
Yes, sir.
For instance, I might be tall, you may be short, I may be fat, you may be slim. So we all have different structures. A man is shaped differently from a woman. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So we have different structures. So if we're dealing with sentences as a continuation, and these sentences have different structures, so what do you think is going to be our topic for today?
Sentence structure.
Exactly. So our subtopic is sentence structure. Okay, good. So since we're dealing with sentence structures, you have three sentences here. Which one seems the simplest?
I am a boy.
I'm a boy, the first one, right? So this is simple sentence. And what we could actually see from I'm a boy, it builds and it gets larger. I'm a boy, but she is not. Then it builds even more. Although I am a boy, I love to plant graves. So they're all different. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So this is simple. This is a bit more difficult from this. So on and so forth. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So since you already guessed this is simple, this is what we classify as a simple sentence. Simple sentence. Why is it a simple sentence? Because it has one subject. What is the subject of a sentence? The subject of a sentence is what you're actually talking about. How many obstacles or persons are you talking about in this sentence? One. All you know is one.
Because it's pure, singular.
Okay, it's single. I. One. So it's a simple sentence. Okay? So our topic today, just head up sentence structures. Okay, So the objective of this lesson is to have you complete the definition of sentence structures in one sentence clearly. Then you're going to effectively identify each sentence structure. Then ultimately, you're going to correctly compose your own sentences of each sentence structure. So just let us look at this video on sentence structures.
There are three types of sentence structures: simple, compound, and complex. It's important to use each of these structures because it makes our writing more engaging for the reader. Simple sentences. A simple sentence has one independent clause. That is, it has a subject, it has a verb, and it is a completed thought. Here's an example of a simple sentence. Grace opened the door. It has one subject and one verb. Sometimes simple sentences have a compound subject, like in this sentence. The table and chairs need to be cleaned. Simple sentences can also have a compound verb. For example, the boy smiled and nodded. Here is another simple sentence. Even though it's longer, we know it's still a simple sentence because it has one subject and one verb. Compound sentences. Compound sentences are a combination of two or more independent clauses joined together by a coordinating conjunction. Remembering the acronym FANBOYS is an easy way to remember the coordinating conjunctions that we can use to join independent clauses. Here are two simple sentences. Grace opened the door. She looked outside. Let's join them using the coordinating conjunction and. We have created a compound sentence. Grace opened the door and she looked outside. The sentence has two independent clauses. That is, both clauses are a completed thought with a subject and a verb. Here are some other compound sentences. They each have more than one independent clause and are joined by a coordinating conjunction. Complex sentences. Complex sentences are composed of an independent clause and a dependent clause. Dependent clauses are not completed thoughts. Here is a complex sentence. When he won the award, everyone cheered. This is the independent clause because it has one subject and one verb, and it's a completed thought. This clause is a dependent clause because even though it has a subject and a verb, it's not a completed thought. Let's look at another example. Now that I have saved up, I can buy a bike. This is an independent clause because it has one subject, one verb, and is a completed thought. This is a dependent clause because it's not a completed thought. The dependent clause can go at the end of the sentence, like this, or it can go first in the sentence, like this. Notice that if the dependent clause begins the sentence, we use a comma to separate the clauses. See if you can work out the structure of these sentences. Carl knew lots about monkeys. That's right, it's a simple sentence. It has one subject and one verb. Let's try another one. Although Matt was running late, he seemed relaxed. That's right, it's a complex sentence. It has an independent clause, which is a completed thought, and a dependent clause, which isn't a completed thought. One more. He was hungry, so he ate. It's a compound sentence. It has two independent clauses. They are both completed thoughts, joined using the coordinating conjunction so. Identifying different sentence structures is easy. EasyTeaching.net.
Okay, students. So
Welcome to a new lesson. In this lesson, you'll learn about simple sentences,
yes. So anybody, what do you think you could say about a simple sentence? How is it different from a compound sentence? And how is it different from a complex sentence based on the video that you've seen? Anybody? Yeah, sure. Exactly. So a simple sentence, as the examples that you have in your book, I am a boy. It speaks about one person. However, a person, or I should say one subject. So if the subject is singular, it is a simple sentence. I am a boy. In certain cases, as the video would have said, let us say we're a group here. We are a class. So it is one subject. Although it's plural, class is one group, a group of students. So it does not have to only be one individual person. It could be one group of persons. So if I say the students of Tutorial High School are all taught, is one subject. You understand? Okay. So once you're having one subject, it is a, what's our sentence? What's our sentence, class? Exactly. So a simple sentence has one subject. The second sentence you have, I am a boy, but she is not. So you have the conjunction there. But she is not. And according to the video, it says once you have the acronym FANBOYS, FAN stands for A stands for Ann, N stands for Nor, B stands for Bud, O stands for R, Y stands for Yet, and S stands for So. Once you could actually see these conjunctions, they are the coordinating conjunctions. What are they?
Coordinating conjunction.
Yes, these are the coordinating conjunctions. So they actually help you to identify the type of sentences. So, as the video said, when you have an independent clause, which is also a simple sentence, connected to a dependent clause by a coordinating conjunction, we have a compound sentence. Okay? Alright, so you write this definition for a simple sentence and you write this definition for a compound sentence here. So a simple sentence, simple sentence is one that has a single subject. A simple sentence is one that has a single subject and a simple verb, and a single verb. Good. So it's simple. It doesn't have any coordinating conjunction joining it to a dependent clause. So a simple sentence is also the same thing as an independent clause. Okay? Write that in your books. This is also an independent clause. This is also an independent clause. so an independent clause makes sense on its own. Okay? Repeat that. An independent clause makes sense on its own. It's the same thing as a simple sentence. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Everybody repeat that. An independent clause. An independent clause is same
Is same
as a simple sentence.
as a simple sentence.
It makes sense on its own.
It makes sense on its own.
Good. So a dependent clause does not make sense on its own. It's like a parent and a child. The parent could survive on his or her own because the parents are independent. The child is dependent, so the child needs the parents to live. Right? Right, class?
Yes, sir.
Good. So remember, independent means free, and dependent means what dependent means. If independent means free, what dependent means? Well, not jail, but it actually needs something else to make sense. Right?
Yes, sir.
Any questions so far?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so we move on to the compound sentence. Okay? What do we move on to?
The compound sentence.
So when something is compounded, that means there's more than one thing come together, right?
Yes, sir.
So a compound sentence, as you said, there's more than one thing come together. That means we have the independent joined to the dependent to make it compound. Okay? Any questions so far? Alright. Okay, so now since we know what is an independent clause, which is also the same thing as a simple sentence, and we have a dependent clause, the compound sentence, what do you think is a compound sentence? Anybody?
An independent clause joined by a dependent clause.
Yes, so when you join an independent clause, which makes sense on its own, and a dependent clause, you have to use one of these coordinating conjunctions. So, copy this definition for compound sentence. A compound sentence is formed when a independent clause is formed when an independent clause is joined to a dependent clause. Using the coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. And according to the video, the coordinating conjunctions, remember the acronym FANBOYS. What is the acronym?
Fanboy.
FANBOYS, and let us identify what the conjunctions of FANBOYS are. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Okay, great. So once you see an independent clause, which is the same thing as a simple sentence, joined to a dependent clause using any one of these, then it is a compound sentence. What is it? Okay, great. So I'm going to give you a list of the subordinate conjunctions. Now the subordinate conjunctions are those that form a complex sentence. What sentence it form?
A complex.
So there you have a list of the subordinating conjunctions which make up the complex sentence. What they make up?
A complex.
Okay, so you have a list of 30 conjunctions here. So what we're going to do from the list, look through the list, and we already know that fanboy's acronym are those that make up the compound sentence. Okay? Okay, so I have a sketch on the board here. Let us say there's a conversation like this. Let us start here. Read.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello, how are you? The person responds, I am very well, thank you. And I must say, you are tall. And this next person says, although he has on heels, he is short. Alright? Alright, so now let's identify the types of sentences here. The first person, hello, how are you? This is a type of sentence.
A simple.
Exactly, this is a simple sentence. Why?
Because it only have one
Subject.
subject.
Exactly. One subject. Hello, how are you? So it makes sense on its own. So a simple sentence is also an independent clause. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Because it makes sense on its own, it could stand on its own. Now, how did the person respond?
I am very well.
Thank you.
I am very well, thank you. That could be a sentence on its own, correct?
Yes.
Good. So it is also an independent clause. Is that so?
Yes.
Good. Then it is joined on, and it says, and I must say, you are tall. Right? So basically, how many sentences is here?
Two.
Two sentences joined to one. And what joins them?
Con.
You-
And.
Good. And which is a conjunction. And is a conjunction. So and joins this sentence to this next sentence here. Correct? Good. So we're identifying the sentences now, the sentence structures. And is this sentence a compound sentence? Is it a complex sentence or is it a simple sentence?
A compound sentence.
Correct. Why is it a compound sentence?
Because this is joined by and.
Exactly. And is a coordinating conjunction that joins the independent and to the dependent clause or the two sentences together. Correct? Oh, let's identify this sentence structure here now. Although he has on heels, he is short. So what type of sentence this would be?
Complex.
Why is it a complex sentence?
Because they have all the.
And although is a subordinating conjunction. Correct, very good. So it shows that we clearly identify our sentence structures. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to give you some worksheets. Could you identify what sort of sentence is the first sentence?
The first sentence is a sentence.
It's a simple sentence, correct? Okay, across here. The second sentence, what sort of sentence the second sentence is?
A complex.
Why is it a complex sentence? Because exactly. So we come back across here on this side. I love the powder, but hated cold water. This was our sentence.
Compound.
Exactly. Why is it a compound sentence?
Because it is joined by compound.
Exactly. Because it is joined by a coordinating conjunction, which is what? Very good. So who would like to say what sort of sentence this is? Time and time again, we laugh and had fun because our teachers also played with us. This is our sentence.
A complex.
Okay, very good. 3 p.m. came quickly, so it was time to leave school. Anybody?
Complex.
Great, confirm. Today is the best day I ever had.
Simple.
Exactly. So I'm very satisfied that everyone could identify the simple, complex and compound sentences. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place you into groups, and you're now going to correctly compose your own simple, compound, and complex sentences. You're going to compose 3 of each. Okay, so what's going to happen? She's going to read her sentences, and class, you're going to identify whether it's a compound, complex, or a simple sentence. Okay, so go ahead.
Hello, my name is Ron.
Hello, my name is Ram.
Simple.
Simple, that's correct. Next.
How are you?
Alright, simple.
Today is raining.
Today's reading.
Simple.
Simple.
Although he is fat, he can learn.
Although he's fat, he can run.
Complex.
Exactly, complex.
He is always talking as if he is the only smartphone.
As if he's the only smart one. Complex. Exactly. Have a seat. Alright, you're going to represent across on this side.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Simple.
Simple.
I am a boy.
I am a boy.
Simple.
Simple.
Even if I was short, I am still taller than you.
Even if is a subordinating conjunction, right? Exactly. Next.
If only I was a boy, I would run faster than you.
Exactly. Good. Have a seat. So it's clear that everyone in the class could compose correctly complex sentences, compound sentences, and simple sentences. Are there any questions? Okay, so we now want to go into our final activity of our class. Concluding activity, we're going to have a game of Jeopardy. A sentence is a group of organized words in a sequence to make sense. True or false? Ryan, true, exactly. That's correct. So Ryan gets $100. Next question. Types of sentences is the same as sentence structures.
False.
False. That's correct. Salia, $100. Okay, so Shemaine, the only person who doesn't have any money right now. Next question. Cats and dogs do not like each other is an example of a simple sentence. True or false?
False.
No.
True.
Okay, this is a default question. The answer could only be true because it's not false. So, no. Cat and dogs is one subject. It's not 2 separate sentences. So, Salia, unfortunately, the $100 is gone. So, you're now at $0.
Sorry, Patrick, you got it.
You're on video. Okay, next question. Although is A in fanboys. True or false? Sadia.
False.
That's correct. So Sadia regains her $100. Only the compound sentences use coordinating conjunctions. True or false?
True.
That's correct. So Ryan, you now have $200. Alright, so we're moving along nicely, which now brings us to final Jeopardy. So please wager. Well, Shemaine, because you're in the cellar, we're going to give you $100, so you could actually wager up to $100, although you don't have any money. Sadia, you could wager up to $200, and Ryan, you could wager up to $400. So please make your wagers. In your mind, so we're gonna need a witness. Please step up, sir. So please tell him your wager, how much money you're wagering. Tell him secretly. Secretly. So he's gonna know secretly. So he's gonna know how much money you're wagering. Okay, so now I'm going to read out a question, and based on the correct response or not, that's how we will know how much money you have. Okay, so I'm going to read this. We played Pablo today. Although it was raining, we still soaked our skin with powder. I loved the powder but hated the cold water. So the question now, how many simple sentences are in those 3 sentences? This final jeopardy, you have 30 seconds to answer. Let me read it again. We played Pablo today. Although it was raining, we still soaked our skin with powder. I loved the powder, but hated cold water. You have 30 seconds to think, and then I'm going to ask you to answer. So 30 seconds. Good. So, Ryan, you have $200 on the board. How much did you wager? 200. She wagered 200. Okay. So, what's the answer? 4? Unfortunately. 3. Your answer? Sally? 2. Your answer? 1. The actual correct answer is 1. So, how much did you wager? You wagered 100. So, you ended up at 100. How much did she wager? She didn't wager anything, so she remains at 100. Yeah, okay. She didn't wager anything. She got it wrong. She didn't wager anything. You got it wrong as well. And how much did you wager? 200. So that means you end up with 0 cents. So it is now tied with the two of you at $100 apiece. So that was our game of Jeopardy. The answer is actually 1. There is 1 simple sentence among these 3 sentences. Okay? Alright, just head back to your seats. So now we're going to have some homework. So what your homework is going to be, you're going to compose 1 paragraph. And 1 paragraph must have at least 2 simple, 2 complex, and 2 compound sentences. The paragraph must be at least 100 words. Compose 1 paragraph. On the topic the bread teacher. At least two simple compound complex sentences. Yeah, so you must have two simple, two compound, and two complex sentences. At least two simple, two compound, and two complex sentences in your paragraph, and it's entitled The Red Car. The topic is the red car. Any questions, class?
No, sir.
Okay, see you in the next lesson. Class is